for Priyesh, now that you deal in mergers and acquisitions and VC transactions, how are you using AI tool, and how is technology and capital intersecting and helping startups get most value out of their inventions?
Yeah. Before I start, a couple of confessions. First of all, I just find myself a slightly odd one out here, whether it's on this panel or everywhere, because I'm not very tech savvy, or I'm not a tech lawyer. So I use tech definitely, whether while advising my clients or using it as a tool, but I'm not a tech or IP lawyer. I'm a pure deal counsel, M&A lawyer. 10 years I've spent with law firms advising different kind of M&A, PVC deals, whether it's a big large scale M&As or startup fundings and all. And last 5 years I've been with Blackstone Group, just doing all investments and M&A advisory. So yeah, the first confession is I have nothing to do with IP or tech law. Whatever I'm saying is purely through a lens of a deal counsel, deal advisor, whose work doesn't end with the closing, but even after the closing, dinners and all, the stress and all continues, because you have actually advised on that deal, that diligence, and those valuations are backed by your reports. And the second confession is, it might be possible that use whether in a deal or day-to-day advisory or whatever, but yeah, there's a way and there's a level up to which I'm dependent upon that, and I can't be fully becoming I'm just, to cut it down, I'm just using it as a tool and not like a master where I'm a slave and it becomes a master kind of thing. So yeah, there's a boundary which works for me, very well, and that's the stage where I truly believe that legal tech and AI is today where we are. We need to use it efficiently, we can't ignore it. If we ignore it, we'll be like delaying, we'll be slowing down our work, all those things, I completely agree. But yeah, we need to draw a boundary where it comes. So the point is, I'm not questioning legal tech, I'm not questioning AI, I'm no one to question. Everybody is using it, I'm using it. But yeah, I'm questioning what it comes with and what it relies on and how much we can go with it kind of scenarios. And this arises more because I'm just looking at it from Indian scenario. A lot of things work better in different legal jurisdictions and all, but in India, when we talk about deals, whether it's a large scale M&A deal, promoter driven old countries like established companies, or it's a new fresh startup with a fresh idea, innovation, led by new founders and all. In both these scenarios, Indian legal system, whether it's judiciary or it's like our day-to-day contractual works and all, the way it works, it's still slightly different. Relying a lot on legal tech and AI on diligences, which ultimately impacts the valuation, is something where we need to be careful. Definitely, as I said, we need to use AI. We cannot be lagging behind. But just to give you a real life example, a couple of years back, I was involved in a deal where we were advising, and we started using all sort of legal softwares, legal tech, AIs for diligences. The result was, diligence was very, very fast. Everybody wanted that. Nobody wants a 2,000-pager report now. Everything has shrunk down to a red flag report, which is like a 20-pager, 30-pager. AI is making a life very easy. You are analyzing, reviewing thousands of contracts. In 10 minutes, in 20 minutes, your report will be out. In 30 minutes, you'll give a green signal that contracts are okay. It falls under this band of risk. Report was fast. Report was greener than usual. Everything was fine. Valuation was decided basis that. Obviously, legal diligence is a part of valuation. There are a lot of other aspects, but yeah, the legal part of it, legal diligence and all, whatever was there, valuation was decided. The problem is what happened after 18 to 19 months when the business failed, things started getting bad. Nobody questioned that why the business failed. The main question was to the counsels who advised on the deal, whether the diligence was done in the right direction. Everybody knew diligence happened. Diligence was a tick mark. But whether diligence happened in the right direction was a big question mark. And again, if I go one step deeper into it, Just to highlight a couple of quick, like obviously a lot of things were involved in diligence which impacted valuation, but a couple of quick points. Contracts. In Indian scenario, contracts are, we have Indian Contract Act, which still, which allows implied or unwritten contracts also a valid form of contract. Now, whether it's a old established real estate developer based company which is running through promoters name, their image, their relationships, or it's a new startup where founder plays a very important role. A lot of things depends upon the founder being there and founder's relationship with the other vendors or clients. In both these kinds of contracts, when AI is analyzing that contract, if there are 50 contracts, it will analyze basis some parameters and all. But what lies beneath it, the contract in the first scenario is solely dependent upon that promoter being there, that developer being there, his relationships with the other parties. So even if a contract contains like very stringent clauses, which AI could point it out as a risk, or if it contains very liberal clauses, which AI again points out as a risk, the reality could be different in an Indian scenario. Similarly, when we talk about startup contracts and all, a lot of things are promoter driven. If tomorrow promoter leaves or promoter's relationship changes and all, a lot of things will get changed. The scenario will change. Now, these kind of scenarios which are very prevalent in Indian market, Indian scenario, it can't be like something which legal tech or AI will able to advise to the client. Contract can say, Indian lawyers are very creative. You will have a 100-page contract where things will be written in a language, in a manner, in a contradictory clauses, where as a lawyer I can take 5 different interpretation. Forget about what interpretation AI is taking. So, plus another reality is that a lot of things are not even written in Indian scenarios. You'll have side letters, you have these letters, you have this miscellaneous contract, joining this contract with the contract which is not even told by the other party as a link contract to this thing. Supplemental agreement, supplemental to supplemental agreement, there's no end to it. So AI catching all these things rightly is not where we are right now in India. Secondly, talking about litigation and regulators, right now, what I look after a portfolio which comprises of around 30 office portfolios, like office assets, hotels, and everything. Real estate is a very big part of it. Litigations are like it's attached to real estate. You can't ignore that fact. Now, if I look after the AI reports which I get, out of 30 litigations, 20 litigations are always categorized under mid-risk or high-risk because it's a real estate matter. But I know as a matter of fact, those litigations have not moved from 30 years. But again, I cannot say that all these are low risk. There's 1 or 2 matters where I know this particular person who is coming through different family members under 5 different names and different litigation against the same land is a problematic man. And we will get an order against in this matter at any moment of time. These are the things which lawyers can understand, they can analyze. I don't think AI and tech is in a position. Again, I don't undermine the importance of AI and legal tech. While analyzing, summarizing those 30, 50 cases, pages and all, I need the help of AI. I need AI for it. But I cannot undermine the importance of human mind who is sitting and who is applying its judgment to those AI reports and all. This is litigation. Regulatory is even more complicated in Indian scenario, trust me. And again, whether it's a old real estate based company or a new startup. A lot of things which AI will say that it does not fall under the regulator red mark because there's no regulatory action in the past, or there's no notices, there's no show cause notices, there's no history of any regulatory action and all. It's mainly because a lot of regulators in India, they have a particular level of tolerance. I'm not talking about RBI and FEMA, those are different, but whether you talk about Pollution Control Board or you talk about BBMP for that matter and all, law will say one thing, practice will be one thing, regulators' behavior will be like another reality only. Today they are very like tolerant. They are tolerating a lot of things for one or the other reasons which is not a subject matter of this forum. Like why they are tolerating. Tomorrow the new officer will come or something will happen or some other issue will erupt and the questions will be raised and you will get a big notice after the diligence, after the deal has happened. So till date, there was no regulatory action. Regulatory scenario was completely clear, green as per the reports and all. And soon after the deal, after 2 months, you are getting a big notice which questions your a lot of like inherent licenses, approvals, and continuity of business, which is a big red mark when we're talking about valuation. Now these are just few examples which I'm randomly saying. Indian market, whether it's established market or startup, it's full of such scenarios. So yeah, so unfortunately, I think we are on the correct path, but we need to put a boundary or level how much to use. I completely agree when I heard in the previous panel that legal tech or AI is in a stage where they are like a first year associate. I'll considering its Indian market, I'll still put it as a good intern, not even like a first year associate. It will still require some training to reach the associate level. But yeah, it has made my life very easy. A lot of things which I was giving to 2 juniors, 3 juniors and all, still giving to them because I need human mind still now. But yeah, I'm checking it cross like through AI. It's always better to have different things and all. Now, just quickly coming to another point, which I'm taking a clue from what Isha was mentioning about valuations of startups and all these startups which are mainly based on tech, AIs and all, it's a model, a lot of business models and all, it's driven by that. I completely agree, IP plays a big role where IP valuation and your tech valuation constitutes 60, 75, 80% of your total valuation and all, is a big thing. My only fear again lies is a lot of these apps, startups and all, it's very innovative, it's very useful, but if we closely analyze, in Indian scenario, it's falling under those zones, not all, but a lot of these, they are falling under the gray zone of legal permissibility. Law in India is again like it's not developing on daily basis. Even if somebody is trying to develop it, it will take 2 to 3 years to come up with some draft regulations to make something legal or illegal. So just to give another example, if we talk about delivery of medicines in India, like there are a lot of rules around it. What drugs, medicines can be sold over a counter, what can be delivered over to your house, what requires prescription, what is a Schedule Y drug, a lot of things. But if we go into the law and all the laws, regulations, they are written for those old scenarios where you have pharmacists, pharmacist guys sitting there signing and doing all those things. But nowadays all these medicines are available like with a touch, with a click of your app. I don't know how it's happening. I had personally analyzed a lot of these things. It falls completely in the gray zone. So today the valuation is a big question mark for me because these models are not even like completely 100% authorized. Tomorrow like gaming or gambling, online gambling and all things will come where it can be allowed, it cannot be allowed, it can come with restrictions and all, which will impact your valuation. So yeah, there's a lot of like complex things, especially considering we are in India. The laws are slow, judiciary, there's a lot of backlogs and all. By the time laws are formulated or situations become clear, or I really have my doubts with the regulatory and judicial behavior, that's continue to be like this only here. So yeah, we are slightly far away, but let's hope and let's continue using it. That's what I'm doing. And